So I was making a video, so I was looking in this video screen here, and then I'm trying to read what I've written because my brain's not 100% functional at the moment, so I'm having trouble remembering my train of thought, or maybe there was just some glib remark that I would like to actually forward to you because it can be funny. And it turns out the camera was frozen. So audio was fine, but there was just this photo of me like lounging back in a chair with a dumb look on my face rather than sitting forward with a dumb look on my face. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about that. Fancy procrastination. Turns out that's what overthinking is. I think I read it somewhere the other day, and that overthinking is procrastination, but because you're actually doing something, not just not doing something or making excuses for not doing something, you're making excuses for why you're not able to do something rather than finding other things to do. So it's just fancy procrastination. Grappling with how things are is a lot more difficult than pretending things are how they seem. So you look at a particular situation and you go, this is how it is. And you can just move with it. You can just pretend. Like if you've ever had a cheating partner and you just go, yeah, it's not really happening. It's my imagination. Sometimes that's easier. So I'm working and getting paid, which is the object of working. Working at a job that you don't necessarily like and not getting paid is not necessarily the thing that you want to do. But a couple of the guys at my work have been there 20 years doing exactly the same job that they've been doing, that they were doing when they started working there 20 years ago. That's what they've decided to do with their lives. But basically staff just comes and goes. No one really progresses anywhere. And that's not really how I envisaged my life going. I originally got out of this job because, not this specific job, but in this industry, working in this way, which is by the hour, because, I happened to innovate a couple of ways for a company I was working for to make better money. Somebody else claimed it, somebody else got promoted, and I was still getting paid the same crap money, only now because I'd innovated, I managed to make the company 3 times as much profit on these specific jobs. And I didn't get anything for it. So I just thought it was a better idea if someone's going to be slack or someone's going to not claim, or someone's going to claim responsibility for something or ownership of something that they didn't do, it might as well be me. So that's why I got out of this. And the reason I got back into it is because for finance, a full-time job looks much, much better than self-employed. We were going to buy a house, but with COVID tax and with all the other things going on, there's not really anything that we can afford. Or there's things that we can technically afford, but I don't necessarily want to buy. Don't want to live in a unit, don't want to live on a 400 square meter block of land in a new housing estate with no yard or anything. It's just not what I want. I wanted to get out of the city, and this just isn't the time to do it. So I want to... the compromise. The compromise is I give up the freedom to choose and the potential to make money in a completely different way over a shorter period of time, but bear all the responsibility. Now I get a paycheck and I don't really bear the responsibility. The worst that can happen is I get fired for being incompetent, which I don't think I am, but I did have some issues last week just because personal things going on. Try not to bring personal things to work, but sometimes things get in your head, you can't get it out. I continue to make fairly poor choices as a consequence, mainly ones involving being faithful to who I am, what I want, my ideas and my ideals. I really want to not lie, but I keep doing things that aren't true to me. And I keep saying I'm going to do things that just aren't true. I keep saying I'm going to get a better job outside of the industry that I'm in, but I don't. I keep saying that I will jump in this studio here, where I am, make a video every day, or get on my phone, make a short every day, but I don't. I keep thinking Or keep telling myself that I'll relax and stop stressing, that I'll just take things as they come, that I won't take everything personally, but I don't. And I often wonder what's wrong with me. I mean, other than the obvious one of just being an overgrown man-child. Maybe I should just upload my breakdown onto YouTube, just right on here, just rant and rave and carry on and just be done with it. I mean, maybe there's some sort of catharsis in that. I'm not really sure. I have totally no idea. A year or so ago, I began therapy. Well, I've been to therapists before, but I actually, a proper therapist, sat down, got homework. I hate homework, but got homework. The economy of my life was different. My schedule was different. And the world was just a little bit different a couple of years ago. So I could afford to do it. I had the time to do it. And I could see that the issues that I was having were all about me and nobody else. Now the world's changed, and I think a lot of the problems that I'm having, even though I'm taking them on when I probably shouldn't, a lot of the problems that I'm having aren't actually about me, but I still should probably learn how to deal with it. Anyway, so I find myself back in the same sort of situation that I'm not in control of the noggin, and I'm more emotional about things than I should be. Not everything, you need emotions. Emotions are important. But I'm emotional about things that don't really concern me or shouldn't really concern me. And that's causing me stress. So I'm an onion. That's what it is. So this dirty old crusty brown onion. And when I went to therapy, peeled the outer layer off the onion. And then here's this nice, fresh, shiny, crisp layer. Still obviously an onion. Ever so slightly smaller onion. But an onion nonetheless. So fresh, crisp. But then eventually time seeps in, degrades the surface. It starts to break down a bit. Takes its toll on the flesh. It's not a shiny, fresh layer anymore. It's an old and crusty one like the previous one. And I went through trauma when I was younger, and then I had to relive that to get rid of that layer. But then I didn't continue to cut. I didn't continue to dice. I didn't continue to, put it in a salad, put it in a spag bowl. So here I am with this really degraded layer of onion. And it's the little chip of ice that's just turning into a thunderous giant snowball, careening headlong into a completely avoidable cat-ass trophy. Anyway, sorry. It's like the third time I've tried to do that joke. Thought I was at the end. Thought freedom in here, and end of doubt. But sometimes old habits are hard to break. Sometimes old patterns are hard to break. Just saying. Keep forgetting a few inherent truths. No matter where you go, there you are. So, changing your car, changing your job, changing your clothes, getting a new hairstyle, none of these things are substantial in the self. You will still be there. Your problems will still be there. So unless they get dealt with, nothing will actually change. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. I hate that saying, but it's essentially true. Regardless of what happened yesterday, I can still go on to something completely new and completely different tomorrow, but you have to keep the first thing in mind. The first thing being, no matter where you go, there you are. And the third thing that I probably need to think about more often is it can always be worse. Probably doesn't feel that way, but it's almost always true. I don't really have anything else to say tonight. I had like a page of script, which is about 3 minutes. I have no idea how long I've been going. There's probably a counter here. Oh, look, 10 minutes. That's probably longer. So you guys would none of... That's right, I need to keep my things to 6 seconds long. Everyone watches my 6-second videos. Anyway, just letting you know what's going on. I decided Monday, like today, was the day that I was going to, at least pull my finger out and bit myself in the posterior and see if I could get something out every day. Wasn't meant to be going this long, but, rambling and reading and rambling. And that's all I've got to say about that. And be excellent to each other and have a grouse evening.